Netflix's Blood of Zeus has concluded its epic first season, and we covered a lot of ground in this Grecian soap opera. There were giants, there were demons, and by the beard of Zeus, there were daddy issues! While Netflix hasn't given this latest anime the green light for a second season, I'm already anticipating we have more tales with these gods and their offspring ahead of us. Grab another helping of ambrosia and stay away from the giant flesh. I'm Chris Carr, and I want to talk to you about what to expect from Season 2 of Blood of Zeus. Before we dive in, I want to give a shout out to our super nerd sponsors. Thanks to these heroes, I get to keep talking tunes with y'all, so thank you so much. Spoiler warning! Obviously, since we'll be discussing what to expect in Season 2, we'll be covering what went down in Season 1. If you aren't caught up on Blood of Zeus, finish up the show, then come back to this video. Trust me guys, this is one to watch, especially if you loved Castlevania and need some beautifully brutal gore to tie you over. While a bit of world building has to happen in the first few episodes, once we pick up the pace, the show delivers tremendous fight sequences, killer character design, and if you're an animation geek like me, this ambitious series is totally gonna be up your alley. Coming in at a 4-hour watch time, I give it the binge-worthy seal of approval. So check it out, and then I'll be here when you're ready. As I said, Netflix, as of this recording, has not announced a second season for this animated love letter to Clash of the Titans. But that's not really surprising. The streaming service typically doesn't make these decisions until a good 6 weeks out from the season's release. So there definitely is potential for more Zeus on the horizon. But what can we expect? Well, let's see where we left off. In the final episode of Season 1, we see Hera, Seraphim, and a selection of gods form an alliance with the giants to take down Zeus. Well, not so much form an alliance as she threatens to imprison their souls in the Black Cauldron if they don't help her. In return for the giants' loyalty, Hera will give them the sea. This prompts Poseidon to finally help his brother Zeus and those who remain loyal to the lightning-wielding god, mostly his children. With the help of Heron and his friends, they're able to get the cauldron and take on Seraphim. Heron is able to access his godly power and reveals he possesses the same abilities as his father and defeats his half-brother. The giants, of course, turn on Hera, but before they can kill her, Zeus sacrifices himself to save his scorned wife. So first and foremost, we have to ask ourselves, is Heron going to be a major player in Olympus from now on? Zeus's demise obviously creates a major power vacuum, and with Hera on the run, it looks like his seat is up for grabs. Despite being a demigod, Heron proves to be a power not to be trifled with. Sharing the same power set as his father could garner him some respect among the gods. We could also see Poseidon step up to the plate, although he seems to remain more focused on his oceans than the politics of the other gods. Hades also could make a play for the throne. He played Switzerland during Zeus and Hera's face-off, but that could have just been him biding his time, waiting to see who would be victorious to better formulate a plan. After all, we do finally see Hades greeting Seraphim upon the river Styx. This could go one of two ways. This could be Hades' grand entrance into the series, setting him up as our next antagonist, or it could just be the button on Seraphim's story. Seraphim was far and away one of the most complex characters introduced to us, and I'd be lying if I didn't occasionally root for the guy. The show presents a very sympathetic case for Seraphim and his goals, particularly once he's fully aware of his patronage and his family's relationship to the gods. It's very compelling. Plus, the half-brother dynamic and animosity between him and Heron is still bubbling with possibility. It'd be a shame to shelf this character. The series seems very keen to give us a redemption story with Seraphim. We know it's possible to reverse his demonic form, so maybe Heron will work to do that now that his father is gone? It'd make for some great TV to see Heron go from seeking vengeance against his half-brother to working towards bringing him back to humanity. And given the option, I'm sure Seraphim is going to not want to be dead. We could see him fighting to leave the underworld, or see him paying for all his time spent wielding Hades' bident. Now that all being said, if this is the end of Seraphim, him having to yet again kneel before God, being controlled by an otherworldly deity, would be a frustratingly fitting end to the character. I won't be furious if his story ends this way. I will say though, I want to see Hades done properly. I'm so tired of seeing the Lord of the Underworld relegated to bad guy. This is why things like Lore Olympus sing, because we play into the actual mythology. Hades wasn't a villain. He was just dealt the short straw and designated to rule the underworld. And the underworld isn't inherently bad, just like how the heavens aren't inherently good. These are just concepts that other religions have given us, like Christianity or cats. If you're looking at D&D alignment, Hades is true neutral. His entire purpose is to make sure you are placed exactly where you need to be after you've shuffled off this mortal coil. It isn't malicious, it isn't kind, it isn't cruel. It just is. He has nothing to do with the actions of mortals and their lives. He's simply responsible for placing them, dependent on their choices, where they belong once they're gone. That's what I love about Greek mythology. It's based in the tragic hero. And that's really who Hades is. No one wants this job, but it's his responsibility, and he takes it on because it's the right thing to do. Hades was the only one who could handle this role and live up to all that it entailed. Zeus, with his pride, could not do this. Poseidon, with his chaos, could not do this. Hades, in his ability to be neutral and responsible at every turn, is why he has to be Lord of the Underworld. So I would love to see Hades in a benevolent role, but only time will tell if that's the approach the show takes. After Zeus sacrifices himself for his jealous wife, Hera is able to flee the battlefield with her crows, but not completely unscathed. Hera lost her forearm in the battle, which just so happens to be the one with Hermes' bracer on it. Naturally, that bit of armor will return to its proper owner, but I'm left wondering if there's any use for the hand of a goddess. Get your mind out of the gutter, y'all. You nasty. I just want to know why linger on this shot of Hera's discarded hand unless it's going to serve as some sort of plot device in future storylines. Furthermore, where is she? She succeeded in getting Zeus killed, but clearly will not be able to take his throne. Will she return to Olympus? Will she take a good hard look at herself? Because, yeah, it was pretty horrible that her husband was constantly cheating on her, but the dude was pretending to be Elektra's husband, which is so very uncool and does not make Elektra a quote-unquote whore like Hera delighted in categorizing her as constantly. Sorry your husband turns into a bird and gets Supes horny, maybe go to counseling? The troubling family dynamics aren't limited to the gods, though. We're also left wondering what exactly happened with Alexia and the Amazons' family. In the Fields of the Dead, we learn that Alexia's mother is dead, and that she might have played a part in whatever happened to her. While Alexia waves away these false images of her parents, I definitely was wondering if this is just how Alexa perceives what happened, or if her father actually does blame her for whatever transpired. This really is the only loose thread that I want to tug at, and I think it begs for some follow-up questions via a second season. And you guys, I've been scorned before, so I feel like learning more about the Amazons can go one of two ways. We get some Patty Jenkins-style Wonder Woman action, where women are valued for their contributions to a society and their prowess on the battlefield, or we go Zack Snyder and focus on how hot these ladies are and put them in wildly inappropriate battle attire and immediately kill them off. Given how Alexia is positioned in Season 1, I have high hopes that the Amazonian society will be given the respect it deserves. Now, my only gripe about Season 1 of Blood of Zeus was that we had to establish a lot of backstory before we got to the meat and potatoes of the series, and the pace really didn't pick up until Episode 3, maybe even Episode 4. But now that this world and its players have been well established, a second season could really allow these stories a chance to sing. We could develop Heron far beyond designated hero. If I'm being completely honest, I didn't find him to be nearly as compelling as his half-brother. So I feel like Season 2 needs to really explore what drives him beyond trying to avenge his mother and dealing with his father issues. Will he need to have a relationship with his brother? Will he need to justify his place amongst the gods? These are things that can really add depth and nuance to him, which I think is needed for us to continue following his hero's journey. Plus, come on, you know they want to give us a romance between him and Alexia. Boy, were they pushing that hard. And I definitely want to know more about Coffee and Evios meeting up. I'd just watch a buddy romp of those two. I love their dynamic so much, and their comic relief is desperately needed in the show. So if we can inject even more of that into Season 2, I'd be a happy camper. There's definitely more to tap on this show, and I'm hoping Netflix gives this epic the screen time it deserves. Of course, these are just my thoughts on Season 2. What I want to know is, what do you anticipate will happen? Hit me with your hot takes in the comments below. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a like, and click to the left if you'd like more cartoon content. Thanks again to all of our donors on Patreon, and thank you for watching. See you, Space Cowboy.